All right, let's get right into it. For what feels like forever, Indian cricket at home has been, well, an unbreakable fortress. But lately, some serious cracks have started to show, and it's got every fan asking some tough questions. In this breakdown, we're going to dig into a crisis that seems to be coming from inside the house.
So yeah, how did we even get here? How does a team that was basically invincible on their own turf suddenly start looking so fragile? And look, this isn't just about a few off days. The signs are pointing to something much deeper, something systemic that's rattling the very foundations of Indian cricket.
And this just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have the fortress as it was, built on specialist batters, pure bowling dominance, and just this air of certainty. And on the other side, well, the ruins. We're talking batting instability, tactical messes, and an atmosphere of fear and insecurity. This is the story of how that fortress crumbled. So, let's start with the most glaringly obvious symptom, the thing that's setting off all the alarm bells, the decline of India's once legendary home test record. But we have to be absolutely crystal clear about one thing right up front. This is not, and I repeat, not a talent issue. The players are some of the best in the world. The real argument we're unpacking here is that the system behind the players is what's failing, creating chaos where there should be stability and confidence.
Okay, let's put on our detective hats for a minute. What are the clues? What's the evidence that explains why this fortress is collapsing, especially in Test cricket, the purest form of the game?
Just look at this number, 8. In just 12 test matches, India has used 8 different players at the crucial number 3 batting position. 8! In a format that demands stability and consistency, that number is just a flashing red light for pure, unfiltered chaos. And what's driving that chaos? It's this philosophy right here, outcome-based selection. Basically, it means you're not being picked for your technique or your long-term potential for a role. Nope. You're judged on your last 1 or 2 scores. It creates a revolving door for players and a dressing room filled with fear.
And you can see the ripple effects, right? Batters start playing with fear, knowing that one bad game could be their last. I mean, think about Karun Nair, scores a triple century, and then vanishes. Players are just treated as temporary plugs for a leaking hole, not as long-term anchors. And worst of all, the system seems to be confusing genuine adaptability with just plain instability.
And here's another huge piece of the puzzle. The old winning formula was beautifully simple. 6 specialist batters who can do their job and an elite unit of bowlers to back them up. Everyone knew their role. The current model, it's become obsessed with finding all-rounders, and in the process, it's weakened both the batting and the bowling.
Now, this is where things get really interesting. For years, India's secret weapon at home was to prepare these rank turners, pitches that spin like crazy from day one. But here's the wild paradox. That very strategy has started to blow up in their own faces. So why is that happening? Well, these crazy pitches actually shrink the skill gap. Suddenly, a decent visiting spinner, like Simon Harmer, for example, can look just as deadly as a world-class one. It exposes India's own batters to the exact same lottery, and it actually helps visiting bowlers settle in and cause absolute havoc. The home advantage has become a home disadvantage.
All right, let's shift gears from the long format, because this crisis isn't just in Test cricket. It's spreading into how players are managed and how leaders are developed, especially in the T20 game. Just take a look at Suryakumar Yadav. For his IPL team, he's a world beater. Why? He has a fixed role, his job is crystal clear, and he plays with total certainty. But for India, he's been bounced all over the batting order. The result is confusion about his role, and that's messed with him psychologically. His dip in form isn't because he forgot how to bat, it's because the system robbed him of clarity.
And then you have the case of Shubman Gill. He's been handed captaincy, he's expected to be a star in all 3 formats, but he's been given 0 breathing room to work through a tough patch of form. This is a classic example of a system that's at risk of burning out its future stars instead of carefully nurturing them.
Okay, so we've looked at the symptoms in tests, we've seen it in T20s, now it's time to get to the real diagnosis. What is the core, fundamental error at the heart of this entire crisis?
You know, this quote from Rabanu Thapa just absolutely nails it. Management might call it being flexible, but what it really does is ask a player to be ready for anything and everything all at once. And when you do that, you're not building versatility, you're killing a player's natural instinct.
So if you were to lay out the charges, this is what the analysis points to under the current leadership. An inconsistent pitch strategy, that destructive outcome-based selection policy, no clear long-term vision for the batting lineup, and maybe the most damaging thing of all, patience has been completely thrown out the window and replaced with fear. And if you want to boil this entire complex mess down into one single phrase, this is it. All the aggressive moves, the constant chopping and changing, it's not a sign of a confident, forward-thinking strategy. It's insecurity, pure and simple, just dressed up to look like aggression. Okay, so after diagnosing the whole problem, the big question is there a fix? Is there a way out of this? Well, according to the analysis, yes, absolutely. And it's not just about pointing fingers. It's about providing a clear, actionable blueprint for recovery.
And here it is, 4 logical, powerful steps. Number 1, lock in key batting roles for at least a year. Let players build confidence. 2, prepare good, balanced cricket pitches where skill, not a lucky bounce, decides the winner. 3, go back to basics, pick specialists for specialist jobs. And finally, number 4, protect your leaders. Don't make a captain carry that burden while also trying to find his own form.
Which really brings us to this final, lingering thought. When you look at all the evidence, the constant tinkering, the flawed strategies, the culture of fear, you just have to ask yourself, with all the incredible talent India has, is it possible that right now, Indian cricket's biggest opponent is actually itself?